Actually, one thing I came to realize, if there's anyone that will save Africa, it's not the Chinese, it's not the Europeans, it's not even a lot of Americans. You know, the people who will save Africa is the African Americans. Yeah. After a long time of wondering, how can we change Africa? The only way and the best way is for African Americans to understand that Africa is home and make it as an obligation to be there and buy land and you know, start businesses and even have trouble doing it and accepting it. So Chantel.
Yes.
And you say that's the right pronunciation?
That's a good way to pronounce it, Chantel.
Okay. Wow. You said something about your grandma?
Yeah, my grandmother, she would say Chantel.
Okay.
And my mom says Chantal, because it's French.
Oh,
it's
like
French. Chantal, yes.
Okay.
But I answer to both.
Oh, you do both?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
And so however people call it, that's it.
I see. Your husband from Ghana, how does he pronounce it?
He calls me Bae.
Oh, he never uses Chantel a lot.
He might say Chantel, but he's being serious or funny.
So what's your last name from your family side?
Jenkins.
So this is Chantel Jenkins, my wife.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how he says it.
Okay,
he says the great, the wonderful, the amazing Chantel Jenkins.
Well, yeah. I'm sure he's right. Yeah. I met you at the Miles of Great Hope event, and you are doing stuff like you're getting paid by someone. But you are just volunteering.
It's true.
Wow.
He works me.
That is nice of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big deal though, because I mean, we have a lot of work to get done.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you're so much all Africa. You're helping Miles of Great Hope.
Which is on the Kenyan side.
On the Kenyan
the
side.
West Coast side.
What do you do on the Ghanaian side now that your hobby is on Ghana
That's
side?
enough. I am Ghanaian.
That's enough.
That's
yeah,
enough.
they got
once
they
you're
got
married, yeah, you're official.
You belong.
I belong, yeah.
And what is this about the year of return there? I've been hearing about it.
So, you know, a lot of Americans aren't familiar with their roots or what part of Africa they come from. But we all know well, not all, most of us primarily come from the west side.
Okay.
I'm sorry, the East Coast, which is where Ghana and Nigeria is. So, the president of Ghana opened his doors and called it the year of return. Because I guess, was it 1619? Is it 1619? It's when the slave trade began.
Yeah.
And so the year of return was meant to represent a year of coming back. So 2019.
2019.
I guess that's when they had it, 2019 or 2020.
Oh.
So the year of return represented coming back to Africa.
I see.
So a lot of people went back, especially a ton of celebrities.
Yeah.
And then Ghana is just a type of country that's a vibe. So people go there and they get excited and they're like, wait a minute. Yeah, because it's not what people imagine Africa to be, which I'm sure you're familiar with.
Yes.
You say Africa, people's mind go.
Oh, yeah, true.
Right. And so with the year of return, it gave people the opportunity to go back and really see for themselves, you know, and to feel invited.
Yes.
Right? Because so many African Americans don't feel as though we're welcomed in Africa.
So how about the citizens in Ghana? Do you get any resistance? For example, in South Africa, trying to go to settle there, the common citizen in South Africa, they're very xenophobic. They are afraid of people coming to take their jobs, and actually sometimes they are violent.
I've heard about that, with the Nigerians in particular, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so with gentrification here in the U.S., the problem is how it changes the landscape, and people feel like, you know, do you want your property value to go up? You want your neighborhood to be desirable, but you don't want to be pushed out.
Yes.
So in Ghana, they feel the same way. They want people to come, they want people to experience, but they don't want you to come
and push them out. Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I don't think maybe it's a problem right now so much because it's not a lot of people going there yet. Unless now.
Oh yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot?
It's a lot, but their population can absorb.
They can absorb. Oh, okay.
It's a lot. The thing that's changed a lot for Ghana is the property values are going up.
Now it's going up.
Yeah, they're going up.
Yeah, actually, one thing I came to realize, if there's anyone that will save Africa, it's not the Chinese, it's not the Europeans, it's not even a lot of Americans. You know, the people who will save Africa is the African Americans. Yeah. After a long time of wondering, how can we change Africa? The only way and the best way is for African Americans to understand that Africa is home and make it as an obligation to be there and buy land and you know, start businesses and even have trouble doing it and accepting it, because in some places like South Africa they wouldn't accept anybody. They wouldn't accept me as a Kenyan.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it will take courage to go into countries like those. And
it does.
Yeah.
Especially with culture shock, right? Because you're coming from an environment where you've been your whole life, and then you go overseas and you have to adapt and find acceptance and find your way. But if you do it, the rewards are tremendous.
Yes,
you know? And especially if you have a plan, you go in. Don't go in thinking that you know what's best for someone else, because that's where it gets very murky. You know, you have to go in with your ears open.
Yeah, and if enough of African Americans go to Africa and get assimilated and start getting into leadership, you know, we will borrow the systems that made America be where it is, you know.
And you know, that's exactly what's happening in Ghana. The president used to live here.
Oh,
I think he was an attorney here.
That's Ado Akufo, huh?
Good luck.
Yeah.
I will not mess up that name. That's not happening. But I do know he used to live here, and he was an attorney here.
Yeah.
And by being so well acclimated into the Western society, that he was able to bring that over there.
Oh, okay.
And he's been able to be over there and say very clearly that I don't want your handouts, right? Did you hear what he said to French Prime Minister?
Yes. That was a famous speech.
Yeah. So that's exactly what you're saying. Like you have to bring something there that's going to help build the society up.
So how is it like owning property there?
Well, I don't own any property there, so I don't know.
Okay, because I know you're a loan officer.
Right, yeah. So I can help you here.
I just discovered that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, I'm very, multifaceted.
Oh. So tell me about this. You know, I have so much to ask you about real estate, about loans, about all this
culture.
Yeah, the duplexes and how people can get doors and all that, how people can become financially independent with
real estate. Yeah.
Wow.
It's really the way to go.
So, if a Kenyan like me or any other guy wants to begin doing real estate today and in North Carolina, what do I start with?
Me.
Yes, you.
Start with me.
Yes.
I mean, then when we talk, you got to let me know what you're interested in. Because, you know, with real estate, you could be buying your primary residence.
Okay.
You could be buying an investment property. An investment property can go one of two ways. You could do a fix and flip.
Okay.
or you can hold it and rent it.
Okay.
So a lot of what you do comes from what your outcome is. What is it that you want out of it?
Yeah. The renting part of it. Would you say someone should start with a townhome, a real house like this one?
Start wherever you want to start. So the question is, what do the numbers look like?
Okay.
So if you want to start renting, you want to see what the house costs, what the mortgage is going to be, how much can it rent for. Of course, we want to make sure the rent is going to be above and beyond the mortgage. But let's say you're getting 2 doors, right? So you want your rent to be enough to cover the mortgage plus some.
Okay.
Or 3 doors, you know. And so it all depends on like exactly how much you want to spend. But we have really good mortgage programs where normally you have to worry about something called DTI. So your DTI is your debt to income ratio.
Okay.
When you buy a house, they look at how much you make and how much you can afford, and they say, okay, well, you can't go over like 43% of your income.
Okay.
Rental property, they waive the debt to income because they know you're not paying it out of your income.
Oh, yeah, they know it will be bringing in some money.
The rent.
So does it mean it's easier for me to get a rental property than getting my dream house?
It doesn't. Because you have to meet certain guidelines. Like, okay, if you don't own a house, then you kind of have to prove that you're willing to buy a house and rent it.
Okay.
So that becomes questionable. Like, okay, you're gonna buy a house, but you're not gonna live in it.
Yeah.
You know. But if you buy something that's clearly a rental property and you just have no desire, you can. You would just have to do a little bit more explaining.
Okay. Oh, okay. Especially there's this thing I heard of the first-time homeowner buyer. Is it still something that's very worthwhile? It's 3%.
That's FHA. 3.5%.
FHA. What does that mean?
So FHA is a type of loan you can get. There's several different ones. There's VA, FHA, USDA, and conventional.
Okay.
So FHA is more so designed for people who are struggling.
Okay.
You know, so you may not have a down payment. You may not have the best credit.
Okay.
The thing with FHA is there's a lot of fees attached to it on the back end. So you're actually paying more for the loan
really?
because you're getting in without the best credit or without the most money.
Okay.
Right.
And with a low down payment?
Very low down payment. 3%.
And I hear that for you to rent it out, you have to live 1 year in it. Is that?
No, you have to live in it.
Forever.
You have to put it down that it's your primary residence.
Oh, so I cannot live in it for 1 year.
Well, I wouldn't.
And then
if you choose to sell at some point.
Okay.
But
not rent it.
No, you can rent it. You can actually get a 4-unit. You can get a 4-unit on the FHA.
Okay.
Live in one, rent the other 3.
Oh, but you have to live in one.
You probably won't. Yeah, FHA.
For life?
FHA is meant for you to get a home.
Okay.
So it's not for investments.
Oh, I had these guys talk about that you can live in it for a year and then you're free to rent it out.
Okay, so this is more of a loophole.
It's more of a loophole.
It's more of a loophole.
Okay.
You know, you can get in it, but I wouldn't advise, as a licensed loan officer, I wouldn't advise that you say something you don't intend to do.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
So you can't say, I'm going to live in it, but
we should be careful about what we hear out there.
Yeah, you
and
really want to
go
be careful.
running applying the knowledge you're getting out there. We might end up in trouble.
Some of it's a little sketchy.
Yes.
Yeah, you want to be careful.
Oh, really? Yeah, because I was like, then I can leave 1 year in this one and then get another FHA, leave 1 year and another and another. You know, it doesn't work that way.
I think it would lead to a lot of questions.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, I see. So if you don't want trouble, then just figure something else out.
Something else out.
Oh, okay. So, especially here in Raleigh, you mentioned 4 units.
4 units, yes.
How easy or how hard is it to get 4 units in Raleigh?
Well, Raleigh doesn't really offer a lot of 4 units.
Yeah.
But we do have duplexes.
We have duplexes. A lot of them?
We have
Are they in the hood or just anywhere?
They're kind of scattered around town.
Oh.
We have a lot of townhouse communities.
Oh, okay.
So you can get you a duplex, and then the same thing. You can live on one side and rent out the other. Now, you know the living in stipulation is the FHA. You could get a different type of loan.
In which it might require a larger down payment?
And so FHA has the smallest down payment, but there are other programs that can help you with down payment assistance.
Okay.
And so if you're getting a conventional loan, you can also seek the down payment assistance.
And you can decide to rent it out.
Yeah, you can rent
you buy it as a rental.
You could buy it.
Oh, you don't have to beat about the bush with this other.
Yeah, that's a loophole they're trying to use just for FHA. But there's other loans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So let's get back to you again with business in Raleigh.
Okay.
How long have you been a loan officer?
Well, actually, I've only been a loan officer for this past year.
Okay.
Prior to that, I was a designer.
Okay.
So I make and sew clothes and do alterations using African print fabric.
Yes, at least I know you for that. You're a businesswoman.
Exactly.
Tell me more about the clothes.
So the clothes are, the original idea for me getting into clothes is because I want more people to identify as African.
Yes.
And it's very hard to get people to try something different or new.
Yeah.
But there's certain areas that most people are very open to. One is food. Food. People will try food all day, every day.
When they're hungry, they'll try anything.
Yeah. Well, not even if they're hungry, they're curious. And flavors and smells, they draw you in, you know.
Yeah.
And two is fashion.
Fashion.
Yeah, you'll wear an Italian something. You'll wear a Spanish something.
Yeah.
You know? So African fashion is fashion. So that was how I decided.
Italian made in China.
You see what I'm saying? They do Africa in China too.
And so.
Yes.
And they're selling them cheaper than.
You see? China will take everything.
Oh my God.
Will take everything. But so that was my initial thing. It was for the culture. I wanted more people to identify with African culture through clothing.
Okay. I can actually picture a very good looking women in African fashion kind of dresses out in the street.
Yeah.
I think I can picture them all over the place.
It really picked up. I like to say when they made the first Wakanda Forever, what was the name of Black Panther?
Yeah.
They made Black Panther and my sales went through the roof. Like everybody wanted to be African.
So how do you sell? Online or?
Yeah, I sell online. I have a website, GhanaFashion.com. I'm also on Facebook.
You have that domain?
Yeah, Ghana Fashion.
That's a powerful domain. Someone will try buy it for you down the line.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And then I have Ghana Style on Facebook and Instagram. And so I actually have this shop set up. So, you know, Facebook has Facebook shops where you're able to buy right on their platform. And so I have that set up there as well.
Okay. How do you advertise?
Yeah, so mostly on the social medias.
Yeah.
Lots of social media ads, lots of like...
or you kind of pay for the ads?
I try not to.
Or you don't have to?
Some stuff is built in.
Okay.
So Facebook has... we know how the algorithms work, right? Like we post pictures and everybody see it. If we post a video, more people see it. If you post a reel, the whole world will see it. But they also have on the business side, if you get a business page, they have certain things that are built in there. Like if you put a product on the business side, it goes into the marketplace. Marketplace is pushed automatically. You don't pay for those.
Oh, you don't pay for those? Okay.
Yeah, so when you put in a product on your business page, you're going to get the exposure from there. You don't really have
That's a gem for you guys. That's a real gem right there. Yeah, wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
So basically you put your product on the business page.
Yeah.
Once you write the description, the pricing and everything.
And it's set up on the Facebook shops.
Yes.
It goes into Marketplace.
Pushed.
And you know Marketplace, they put it on your timeline. They like, hey, there's some things for sale you might like that.
Okay, okay.
So you get a lot more eyes.
That is neat. So how is a loan officer business coming now that you're still new in it?
It's coming. It's coming. I think it's all about building clientele and letting people know what options are out there. You know, like things like the USDA loans have zero down. You're talking about low down payment.
Yeah.
If you buy a house in a rural area, it's 100% financed. Wow. And you don't have to have good credit.
And you get a large piece of land, or it has to be the same kind of communities?
No. Actually, you can get a large piece of land because it's rural. Rural means country, right? So you can get as much land as you want as long as it fits into your budget. Remember, we still got the debt to income to worry about. So it still needs to match the type of money you are able to spend based on how much you make. But you'll have zero down, and your credit could be, you know, a little stretched out.
Wow. So, tell me about trailer parks. Do you know anything about that?
I don't know much about trailer parks. I know you buy the land and then you buy the property and you have to do some work, like septic tanks. And
quite profitable, or is it on demand? Because there is a Kenyan group that has bought land and they are trying to sell it to people who are they're
trying to sell it in lots?
In lots, and plus the house itself. Yeah, and I don't know if it's a viable. I almost joined them. To join them, you have to pay around $10,000, and the returns are not yet starting to get back. But I was wondering,
have they projected it like it would be?
Yeah.
So you want to look at it like rental income. Because typically you lease the land. And then you let somebody bring their trailer onto it. Unless you're buying and selling trailers, which
they also have
manufactured housing. I'm sorry, they're not called trailers anymore. But if you're buying and selling the manufactured homes,
manufactured homes, that's the right one.
Yes. Then you might be seeing a profit from that. But in real estate, the value is in the land.
Because what they're doing is that they buy the land and they have a dealer's license for the manufactured homes. So they bring the home to you, they sell you the home and the piece of land.
Well, that's where the profit is then.
And is it high demand, really?
I think in this environment, everything is high demand. Even tiny houses. Have you seen the tiny houses? It's like just this room.
I saw one by Wycliffe Road. Small one. So right now, look at the market. The housing market like almost hit a bubble. It didn't burst, but the amount of houses that were going up and the way that they were selling was at asking price or above asking price. People were getting into bidding wars, losing their earnest money, all types of things. So if you decide not to buy, you're going to rent. Rent is through the roof, right? And so people are going to come up with alternatives, like the manufactured housing, like tiny houses. They're going to come up with different ways because you need housing. At the end of the day, you need housing. You know, we can go until tomorrow. We will have to do a whole series with you. You also plan events. Tell us about that. So this is why our mutual friend Isaac keeps me around, because I like to go in the same philosophy. I want people to experience culture. So when I come into an event, I'm looking for ways to give people two things: something they're familiar with and something they've never had. Because something you're familiar with will make you comfortable, and something you've never had will give you excitement. And so for Miles of Great Hopes, I've helped with the Proud of My Culture event. I think we met at that one. That's where we met.
And then I've helped with the Christmas galas, the 5Ks, all of the above. And so my primary role isn't necessarily, I mean, of course, we're going to plan. We're going to set a date. We're going to set a venue. We're going to figure out how many people need to come. We're going to try to get sponsors, have actionables, things like that. But the most important thing is to keep people on track. Right? Because people like to get creative and bring in all types of things, and we need to ask ourselves a primary question. Primary question in an event is, does this match the goal?
Oh, okay. Does it match the goal?
Does it match the goal? What's the purpose of the event? Where are we trying to get? Are we raising money? Are we just trying to get exposure?
Yeah.
What are we trying to do? And this extra thing that we're bringing in, will it help us get there? And if the answer is no, then we don't need to do it. We don't need to add it.
Wow.
Right.
So this series will be about planning events, real estate, Africa,
yeah.
most of it, and fashion, African fashion,
And
maybe.
fashion, yeah.
We will design it to go that way.
Okay.
Today is the introduction
It's
of
an
you.
introduction of
But I just
the
remembered the
guru.
question I wanted to ask you.
Oh,
I don't
good.
know how it disappeared.
It
It's
came
about
back.
housing.
Okay.
So, I have a few friends with houses, and they shot up, especially in Atlanta, Georgia, and they wanted to sell them for a very high price, and then suddenly they started going down. Now
The
they
interest
can-
rate, yeah. So what the Fed did was they came in and they said the market is doing too much,
Okay.
right? And inflation is
Yeah.
becoming a problem. Inflation is a problem because too many people have too much money and they're really spending it, especially on houses.
Yes.
So, like your friend, their houses shot up in value, and that was because there's a supply and demand type thing. So to
Yeah.
keep it simple, we all learn supply and demand,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
So it's only so many houses on the market, but there's so many people who want houses that they're pushing the price up.
Yeah.
The way the Fed came in, they came in and increased the interest rates. Increasing the interest rates mean that for the same amount of house, you're going to pay more money.
Okay.
So your $200,000 house on a 3% interest rate is going to cost you less than a $200,000 house on a 7% interest rate, which is where we are now.
Okay.
Right. So that made people pull out
Ah.
because my mortgage payment that I don't have yet
Yeah.
is going to be higher, and I'll wait. I'd rather wait.
I'd
for-
rather wait.
So that's where your friends are.
Okay.
Your friends were in a market that was very hot.
High.
And the feds came in and introduced a
And-
higher interest rate.
Yes.
And it started to come down.
Calm down.
So now the demand isn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So the value isn't as high.
So, who ends up suffering at the end of the day?
People who bought at the highest part of the
At
market.
the highest part of the market.
Just like the stock market. Yeah.
So, right now, if someone wanted to buy a house, you just
It's
wait?
okay. No.
Or it's okay?
Now is a good time.
Because it's there.
It's gone down.
Yeah.
That's right. Now the interest rates are a little high,
High.
but you're not in that race. Like the way the competition was to buy a house and outbid a house and pay over asking. So over asking means the house might have been listed at $250.
Yeah.
But somebody's going to come in and say, "I'll pay $260," and then someone else will say, "I'll pay $275."
yes.
Right. So you don't want to get into that type
Yeah.
of bidding war. We're talking about thousands, right?
Yeah.
And so you don't want to get into that kind of bidding war.
You know, a few years ago, I wanted to buy a house, and I was like, golly, houses are $300,000.
And now they're 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you want to tell me now that those 300 are 5? You think in the next 5-10 years there will be 8?
Yeah.
You think
I
so?
do think that, yeah, I think that, I don't know if there'll be 8, because I don't know if we'll get into another, what do they call it, a perfect circle or a perfect storm.
Yeah.
Where the interest rates are here and the
Okay.
amount of people moving
Okay.
in and all of these things happen at the same time.
But
Is
they'll
that
go
all going
up.
to happen again?
Yeah.
I don't know. But
They'll still go up.
houses appreciate.
Yeah.
They've always appreciated.
Yeah.
It's usually at a rate of 2 or 3%.
Yeah.
You know, so hopefully they will continue to go up, but a lot slower. A lot
Wow.
slower. Yeah.
So next time we'll talk specifics on all these topics.
Okay.
Yeah, today, guys, this is Mr. Sam the Creative with Banana Land Media, and today we had Chantel.
Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
and
yeah, that's a good way to say it.
she's a loan officer. She's a fashion designer, African fashion designer. She's American, African American. Is that right?
Yeah, African American.
And we also have her. She's a guru when she goes to Ghana. She belongs to Ghana. She's a Ghanaian.
I belong to Ghana. Listen,
Yeah.
it was a beautiful trip too.
Oh, Lord.
Last year.
Wow. So she'll be having a lot more to be telling us. Oh my goodness. Plus, she's an event organizer.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. Yeah.
I do a
So
lot.
this is just a series, and we'll call it a name. I don't know. Maybe you'll come up
We'll
with
come up with one.
Yeah.